Hello, everyone. This is a brief video overview explaining how to participate in the online peer review activity. Right now, we see a couple of links, both of which are hidden, but by the time you see this video, they will be unhidden, but they will only be available to the people who belong to a given group. I have already clicked into group one, and what we have here is each group has a Padlet, and the Padlet contains the original rough drafts for everybody in that group. And it's kind of like a little room, if you will, where everybody will enter and you will download the papers that you've been assigned to read. You'll read them carefully through once without making any comments on them at all, just to kind of have a sense of what somebody is arguing. And then you're going to go through, and I'll show you how to do this, and you're going to use the comment feature in Word or the equivalent of that in Google Docs, and you're going to make concrete, specific suggestions to help drive revisions that particular draft, even if the draft is good, because even if it's good, I guarantee you there's always room for improvement. So this is not necessarily about finding fault. It's not about nitpicking, criticizing, pointing out grammar errors and things like that. This is about making concrete, specific, actionable suggestions that make a genuine effort to help somebody improve the execution of a given section. You're not doing it for them, but you are giving them some suggestion about maybe something they didn't consider. Maybe there's a great line that you remember that they might consider including, or they may um, be pointing out something that you can go back and shore up later. So even if we look at one right now, um, let's see. Here, let's look at comment number 5, where the reviewer says, "Don't leave room for doubt. You're trying to get the reader to believe that this is why she's already on the prowl. So to sound more persuasive, just connect it to your thesis by saying," then he gives it an example of what they could say. So that's a really specific comment. And the purpose of that is not to tell somebody what to say, but they're kind of illustrating an example of what could be uh, of what could be done. So the idea is to be very concrete and specific, and you're doing this by yourself. You're not using AI because we already have an assignment where everybody has to get AI feedback on their own drafts. So they're already getting feedback from AI. They're getting feedback from an online tutor, and they're going to be getting feedback from a couple of classmates, and you'll be reciprocating that in turn. One of the things I forgot to mention is that everybody should have a minimum of at least 3 comments per page. It's okay to have more. It's okay to have fewer on maybe a page where you see on this one page, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 on one, 2 on another. So we want to average at least 3 per page, and you don't want to skip any pages in your comments, and you don't want to skip any sections of the paper. So you need to comment on the introduction, the conclusion, and all the body sections that are present. Keep in mind that a body section could be more than one paragraph. You need at least one comment for that. For you to do is come over here and see, well, whose paper am I reading? And usually I have a column over here that just tells you what the assignments are. But I also like to teach you what the pattern is so that if I forget to do this or if I ever forget to spell it out, you know what the pattern is and you can figure it out on your own. And the pattern is skip one, do the next two. And what that means is skip the person right after you in the original rough drafts column and do the next two people after that. So if I were Martine, I would skip Lily, and I would read DJ's paper and Issa's paper. And that's what I have right here. So I have it out here. I'm just showing you the pattern in case I forget. That way you can figure that out. So I'm going to go ahead and open to show you once you click into it, you can see it to read it, and that's fine to read it for your initial read through. You really should, read it through before you do anything else. But when you're ready to comment on it, you've got to download it to work with it. So you're going to click on the ellipsis and you're going to click on download attachment. I've already done that, and I have DJ's paper down open over here. If I were going to comment on this, right now I'm in the paid version of Word. I'm going to show you the school version of Word here in a minute. If I were going to comment the introduction, I usually put my cursor at the end of a paragraph that I'm going to comment on. And then I'm going to come over here to the review tab, and there we go. Click on the comment box, and then it comes open. And then here's where, you can type a comment, and notice that it will expand as big as it needs to be. And then I'm ready to post that. I click the um, arrow, it will post, and you do that all the way through. We do want to avoid, you don't want to do anything where you're coming in and highlighting a whole section, because then what's going to happen if I come up here and end up putting a comment, it's going to highlight all of that in pink. And if DJ were to print this out, that's going to burn up a lot of ink. If he's got a color printer, it's going to burn that up. It makes it harder to see, and so on. So it's better to like minimize what you're anchoring to, just make it clear. If you're talking about something in the middle of the paragraph, anchor it maybe to a word or phrase, or maybe a single line in the middle, but to avoid you kind of selecting large chunks of text. When you're ready to save your reviews, you can always save and upload them in Word. It's always fine. Um, but it is better for those who are able to save as PDF so that they flatten and show on the page in colored bubbles. And makes it easier because we can see them in the document viewer in Padlet, and we can see them in the document viewer in Blackboard. If you don't, comments are still there, but the files have to be downloaded so that the comments can be seen, which is not a big deal, but it's more convenient if we can save them as PDF. If you're in the paid version of Word, you're going to want to use File Save As, and then come over here and choose PDF from the drop-down menu. Don't ever choose this one over here that says Save as Adobe PDF, because if you do, it saves weirdly. It puts a yellow comment on top of the text, and you've got to mouse over it to open it, and it's a pain. So please don't ever use this button if you have the paid version of Word. Most students, though, probably have the school version of Word, and I think I have that open over here. I do. So I have the school version open. So if you're going to work with file in the school version of Word, now you downloaded it to your computer, and I'm sure this is just in case anybody has forgotten. You're going to have to upload it to your online version of Word, or you're going to have to pull it in and upload it to Google Docs if you're working in Google Docs. So I'm going to use a different paper that I already had put a comment on previously, and so I put that, let's see, did it upload? There we go. Okay. And so, I forgot I didn't put a comment on this one. All right, so let me just put my cursor here at the very end, and let me find where the comment thing is here in the school version of Word. There's the review tab, and here is the comment. There we go. So I'm just going to put a fake comment here. I type gibberish just because I can gibberish faster than I can type words. And then I'm going to click comment. So let's pretend this is a real comment, and I'm ready to save this. I've commented on it all the way through. In the school version of Word, you have to do this or it won't save properly. Do not use this one. Choose export. And you have to download as PDF with comments. If you don't do that, if you download as PDF, it's going to come up blank. So be really careful about it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it says ready. And let's see if there we go. So see, it saves its pink bubble out to side. This is what helps us out. If you're working in Google Docs, you have to be really careful, because I made a comment over here on a different, just random draft I opened in here, but I'm going to show you what to do for saving in Google Docs. You come over here to download, and you have to download as Word. If you do PDF, the comment won't show at all. It'll be a blank file. And if I get a blank file, I don't have the comments for the peer reviews, and I can't grade that. It would be a 0. So when you're in Google Docs, you want to always export as a Word file. And we'll see that when we open this in Word, that the comment will be there. Now, since there it is right there. There's the comment that I had. Now, if I'm working in Google Docs, I can either save this, keep this as a Word file, and I can upload that, but my classmates won't be able to see the comments in the document viewer, and I won't be able to see it in Blackboard in the document viewer, but we can see it if we download it. So that's all we have to remember, which we all have to download files anyway, because you need to download them when you get them from your classmates so you can get a pen and you can circle the comments that you agree with, and you can put a big old X through the ones that you are disregarding. So you could do a couple of things to be able to save this as a PDF if you want. Um, I had a student, I think last semester, what she did, she worked in Google Docs all the time. So she would export in Word, and then she would do the control print thing, print as PDF, and they would come out as a PDF that way. You could also pull this into the school version of Word and see if you can well, you can click the export as PDF with comments. But I did have a student tell me a couple of semesters back that they didn't have the same thing in their online version of Word as I do. So I don't know if that's changed. So I'm in my school version of Word right here. And when I come over here, I have this option, download as PDF with comments. And he told me a couple semesters back, he said, "Oh, I don't have that option." Um, and so just be aware. I think mine is the same as yours, but I don't know. I could maybe have a special extra something. So just be aware of that. So I really only need to explain a couple more things. Let me go back into the activity here. So what you see over here on the right, everybody's pass back column. So let's say if I do a review for DJ, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on that and I'm going to upload my review for DJ. And you're going to want to save it, something logical. So if I were in this group and I had to review this paper, I would actually name the file Robin's Review for DJ, Doubt, Draft 1, something like that, so that the name of the reviewer's on there, the name of the recipient's on there, it's super clear. And then I would also come up here and I would label it. I would say Robin's Review for DJ. I would do something like that, and I would probably give it a pop of color, some purple or something, and then I'm going to upload file. I'm going to navigate to that, but I would not just, click the file. I would make sure that I've renamed it so that I don't make the mistake of just uploading another copy of the draft. You want to make sure you're uploading the comments. So um, those are where the passbacks go. When the assignment due date expires, then what you're going to do is you're going to come back in here and you have to fetch the reviews that you were given, because the whole point of this is not to do them just for the grade or do them just to do them. The point is to do them so that you are providing feedback to your classmates from the perspective of somebody who's read the play very carefully and can maybe see some things that you haven't considered and make some suggestions. So if I were Carlos, then I would come and I would click under the bottom here, and he should see that he has 2 reviews, and he'll need to download those and print them out. And the idea is that you print them out, and again, you're circling the comments that you agree with. It's like, yeah, okay, I might try to do something with this. And you're crossing through the other ones. So you're going to come and fetch those. And then the last thing everybody needs to remember is that when you turn it in to me, I'm grading them here in the link. I am not going to grade them on the Padlets, because then I got to click around and I got to find who read whose and line that up in the grade book, and it would just be a nightmare. So the Padlet is just for you to pass the reviews back to your classmates and for you to go fetch the ones that were done for you. But the peer review link, this is a regular homework assignment link where you're going to come in and you will submit them here to me. So I've got file upload and enabled, and so I'm not in student mode right now, but you'll come down there and you'll attach your both files for each of the reviews that you did. And I'll be grading your peer reviews not based on whether they're perfect, but did you follow directions? Or do you have the appropriate number of comments? Did you avoid making comments and suggestions related to grammar, spelling, and punctuation? Because if so, those don't count. Comments that are just praising a classmate do not count as a comment. and comments that are just descriptive. If you say, "Oh, I like how you pointed out that Father Flynn did blah, blah, blah. I did the same in my paper," those don't count either. So filler and things like that, just praise. There's nothing wrong with praise, but praise doesn't really do anything to help us move forward. It just takes up space, and those comments won't be counted as true comments. So you would have to make extra to accommodate for those. You would have to make extra if if you have like grammar stuff on there. Those don't count either, because we're not even concerned with that at this point. We're just concerned with the content. So that's it. That's the gist of the peer review. It should take, it depends on how long of a draft your classmate has submitted, but I would say probably at least 45 minutes per draft, so maybe an hour and a half to complete two of them. And so these are going to be due on Tuesday, so you're going to want to jump on them on Monday if you can. And you don't have to do them both at the same time, but they both need to be submitted to the group Padlet and to the assignment link no later than the deadline on Tuesday, because we need to have access to these not only for consideration in the revisions, but we also have another assignment for which these peer reviews will be one piece of what you're drawing on to complete that. So that's it. That's a wrap. I'm going to go ahead and put this probably into a user quiz just to make sure everybody watches it. And if anybody is not included in a peer review, it means that maybe there was some kind of something that we need to look at and that I wasn't able to put you into the peer review this time. But don't worry, I'm going to help those students regroup. So most everybody is in a peer review group. There are a couple of people who um, are not for this go round, but it's not a big concern. We have a plan to get everybody caught up. That's it. That's a wrap. Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.